What it do, YouTube, man? It is your boy Solid back with another Solid reaction, man. And today, what happened to these 9 significant NBA items? Now, the thumbnail, all right, the thumbnail was what happened with Wilt Chamberlain's 100 paper, like the paper. What happened to the paper? You get what I'm saying? So I was interested because I wanted to see exactly what happened to the paper. Where's the paper at now? Because that would be, think of how much money that thing would be worth. That's the game where he scored 100 points, bro. Like in history. That thing is old as hell, man. I'd have had it framed. I'd have had it, you see what I'm saying? But, man, we're going to go ahead and get into this one, man. If this is your first time seeing your boy Solid on your screen, man, do me a favor, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on so you never miss another Solid reaction. And join the Discord, man. Out the net, baby. That's what we're doing. We are going to be over there talking about anything basketball, sports related. If you guys are interested in that, it will be linked in the description. But without further ado, let's get into this one. That's a good intro. I like that. Cosgrove.
What happened to these significant NBA items?
Okay.
Here we have one of the most famous pictures in NBA
this is the one
history.
I saw. Like, I was like, what happened to
Wilt Chamberlain sitting in his locker holding up a piece of paper with 100 written on it, obviously referring to the amount of points he had just scored versus the New York Knicks on March 2nd, 1962, the most points ever scored by an individual player in an NBA game. This photo is so iconic that even players to this day feel the need to reenact it whenever they have a high-scoring game. Just the other day, I randomly asked myself, is that exact piece of paper even around anymore? Remember, this ain't just any old piece of paper. I truly believe that it should be framed and hung up somewhere, but apparently at the time, no one had the sense to not throw it away. Trust me, I tried looking for any information on where it might be, but unfortunately, my efforts led to nowhere. I hate to say it, but maybe this legendary piece of paper is no longer with us. However, the next big thing I would imagine is the official score sheet from that game. This is actually pretty significant considering there isn't any footage of the game. Sure, it might not be as cool as the 100 paper he took this photo with.
I'd have been heated. Look at that. So, Wilt Chamberlain scored so many points. Who is this? Rogers? He only had 2, so they cut into his shit like, boom, we're going to go ahead and keep filling this. He had 25 in the first quarter. Then, boom, we're going to keep going. I think that looked like 35 or something like that, 44. And then he had 44 to 69. And then Sting, he was cooking. Oh, it went into overtime. That's why he got the 100, because at the end, he only had 191 points, it looked like, or 86 points, 85 points. Dang, that's crazy. But I'd have been mad if I was this dude up underneath. Like, why y'all keep doing me like that? Look, he didn't even get in the overtime, so they just took his. All right, I'm sorry. All right, back
it might not be as cool as the 100 paper he took this photo with. That definitely gets a lot more love. But at least this score sheet was autographed by Wilt after the game, adding to its value, and was eventually sold in 2019 for a whopping $214,000. Another item that is definitely worth mentioning from that night is the actual game ball that was used in that 100-point game. The story goes that a kid named Kerry Ryman allegedly stole the ball after the game and would eventually go on to sell the ball in the year 2000 shortly after Wilt passed away for about $550,000. That was until questions were raised about its authenticity, ultimately only selling for around $67,000 in the end. As expected, many people were skeptical about Ryman's story and how he was able to get his hands on that ball so easily, but there's just as many people who do believe him as well. In fact, they saw him take the ball with their own 2 eyes.
I talked with a number of people in Hershey who saw Kerry Ryman that night at the game, ball in hand, running out of the arena.
He said, hit the pitter-patters.
Whenever the infamous Pistons-Pacers brawl...
Bro, shit, I gotta go, bro. I got the ball. He dropped the ball. Hey, is that the ball right there? Yeah, give it to me. Give it. I'm going to the back. Go. Like, that's what we talking about. He did that. He hit the pitter-patters. Whoever, Kerry Ryman or whatever your name is, buddy, good job, little dude. Good job. That's all I'm gonna say, because if I'd have seen you coming out there with that, I'd have probably, I'd have been like, bro, is that the ball? I'm gonna need that up off you, G. And stand outside like, well, can you shine it? Yeah, shine the ball, baby. Yeah, I need that.
AKA the Malice at the Palace is talked about.
Bro, that was
the only
one of
thing
the
that people
funniest
seem
things
to
in
really
history.
care about is who was the person who threw the cup at Ron Artest. You know, the cup that started it all. We eventually found out that it was this man named John Green.
He tried to act like he ain't do
as
nothing.
of today, I'm more interested in solving the mystery of where is that cup now? I'm probably one of a handful of people who actually wonders about that. Where is that cup? Of course, I did a quick Google search and came across an old article from 2004. The year in which the fight occurred, that stated an item purported to be the cup thrown from the stands at Pacers player Ron Artest last Friday night was on eBay for less than 24 hours after bidding went out of control. The cup, listed for sale by someone from Sterling Heights, Michigan, was put up for auction Monday, but the bidding was closed on Tuesday afternoon when the price went up to nearly $100 million, which I assume was some sort of troll. In the description of the cup, the seller wrote, "No sports collection will be complete without the addition of this vintage championship collector's edition beer cup. Simply a must for all Artest fans." There were also several photos of the cup hitting Artest, though there is no way to prove its authenticity. Now, whether any of that was a legitimate report is unknown. I also stumbled upon a Reddit post from 10 years ago by a user who claims to have that cup in his possession. He goes on this whole spiel about how he was gifted tickets to that game for his birthday and that he actually saw John Green throw the cup at Artest. He says that he never took his eyes off the cup the entire time.
Like, I need ticket
and once
stubs,
the security guards demanded that everyone
pass.
leave the building in a calmly manner.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if you telling me that's what I would, if it was me and I was buying it, I'd be like, okay, well, I need to see your, your ticket pass, because that's gonna, I need that to also come with the cup. Is your tickets and your parking pass, because that's the only way I can authenticate that you were there, and then I can authenticate, and at that point I really can't authenticate it, because how many cups were sold that night? So what I would have to see, and this is just me, you would have to be close enough to that stand. Like, your seats would have to show me that you're close enough to when it all broke out or broke loose and they're like, hey, everybody go home, we're done. You could have got there in a reasonable time to get the cup and leave. And then I still wouldn't believe it unless you had some footage. And it ain't gotta be grade A footage. I'm not talking 4K video. It could have been a little flip phone and you're like, bro, I'm gonna go down there and get it. And then you got it. Like, I'd probably believe it then, but I would need to sell the whole thing as a package before I even thought about it. Now, me personally, I wouldn't buy it. I don't care about Ron Artest like that. He ain't nobody important to me, so I wouldn't buy it. But I mean, that's what I would suspect if I was gonna buy it.
He and his girlfriend retrieved the cup. Now, of course, people in the comment section had a hard time believing his
where's
story.
your ticket stub?
Honestly,
Exactly,
so
everything I'm saying.
But
Look,
hey, I
you
guess
BSing.
you never know.
So,
I
like,
truly
bull
wonder
crap.
if
Okay, I ain't
anyone
even
actually had the wherewithal to keep that cup, as I'm sure it would be worth something today. If someone out there actually has it in their possession, I ain't gonna lie, that would be a pretty big flex.
That ain't a pretty big flex.
We've all seen Kobe Bryant's retirement speech he gave after dropping 60 points in the final game of his career.
I want that sleeve.
That
That's what
night, he would say those iconic words, "Mamba out," before walking off the court for the
Mamba
last
out
time.
jersey? I
So
wonder how
with
much
that being
jersey.
said, that would automatically make this towel that Kobe wore over his shoulders during that speech pretty valuable, right? Well, the answer is yes, because apparently that towel recently sold for around $30,000. Now, you may be thinking that that's way too much money to drop on a freaking towel, even if it belonged to Kobe. But if you think about it, this speech will be rewatched over and over again for a very long time. So if you put it that way, it would be pretty cool to be able to say you have it. Now, the question is, who was the lucky fan that Kobe threw his towel at? Well, he didn't throw it at anyone, because if you look closely, it was actually stolen from him.
Give me
But by
that.
the looks of it,
Oh my God. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't yock that joint like that. Hold on, I'm going back. Hold on.
Towel at? Well, he didn't throw it at anyone, because if you
He
look
reached
closely,
over there and
it was
snatched that.
actually
Give me
stolen
this.
from
Look
him.
at that.
But
Say, give me this.
the looks of it, he didn't really seem to care. That fan who pulled the towel off his shoulders went on to sell it for just a little over $8,000 that year in 2016.
crazy.
But it looks like he might have sold it a little too soon, because as I mentioned earlier, just a few years later, it was sold again for around $30,000 this time. Obviously, with his death having something to do with that.
That's crazy, bro. He said, I'm
Back in
taking that.
2010, an auction was held in Macau revolving around pop culture artifacts. with items that included Michael Keaton's Batman Returns costume, which sold for $43,000,
I mean,
a ball gown worn by Princess Diana for $114,000, and
ain't no way I'm spending that much on no dress. Now the Batman thing, I might have spent 40. I might not. The high I might be spending that on 20. But if I'm a DC fan and I'm just like, you know, oh, I gotta have it in my collection, I might spend the 40. I gotta have it. This for what? I'm not trying to. No, I know who she is. She's I'm not, you know, Princess Diana. Sorry. Okay, cool. But for what? I'm not gonna wear it. I'm gonna spend that's a whole beans. And I'm gonna spend it on her dress for what? That so I can just be like, this is Diana's dress in my house. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. For what? Or, you know, if it is me and I buy it for that much, I'm wearing that bit like 2 times. I'm going to like it better come with like some passes to the Queen's ball for like 15 years. Some see-through slippers. I better feel like Cinderella. You feel me? I better feel like Cinderella. That's all I'm saying.
Bruce Lee's Game of Death stunt double costume, which sold for $18,000. But apparently
stunt double,
none of those items
compared
compared to this basketball signed by both Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson, which was used in the 90s.
I'm spending 240 bands for that? The king of pop and the king of basketball? I'm spending 240 bands. And I'm never selling it. I'd never sell it. I wouldn't even let kids near it. I wouldn't even let my kids, hey, don't go in that goddamn room, boy. You know that's where my basketball at. Don't go in there. Stay your ass out of there. Get out of there. You can't, don't go in there no goddamn mode you fucking up. That's how I would be with that basketball. 240, I'm telling you, if I had 240 bands, that's what I would spend on that. I'll go up, I might, if I got it like that, I might go 300. 300 for it. I might.
1992 music video Jam. The price that this item sold for, $294,000.
See, look, I told you, three bands. I wouldn't, like, that would be me having the money and it's just sitting there. Like, it's just sitting there like, oh, I got, you know, I make enough money to recoup that pretty quickly. That would be me spending 300. But that ball, boy, I would love to just have it. And it's not like I just want to, I would just like keep it in a room with lasers and like mirrors and everything where it gets every angle of the room you go with cameras. So you can't even go off in there, man. That's what I'm talking about. 6, you know, digit padlock, door, fingerprint, eye scanner, all that in that room with just boom, like that. I wouldn't even let, I wouldn't even let my friends see the ball. I wouldn't. We had to look on my phone like, look, man, yeah, it's in there still, man, yeah. Just paid $300,000 for it. Well, can we go in there and see it? You looking at it. What you mean? We gonna look at it on the phone. That's what we gonna do, because we're not touching that.
Both MJs doing what they did best. And they even gave each other's craft a try. One particular part in that music video showed them playing one-on-one. And afterwards, they both signed said basketball. So no wonder it went for so much money. Imagine having a basketball that was not only held by both MJs, but autographed as well. And was also featured in this music video. Man, I'm surprised Magic Johnson didn't show up to be the third MJ. I mean, he would fit right in.
Look at my...
I don't know about you guys, but whenever I watch this clip of Steph
that's
Curry
that's what I was thinking, like, where's that at?
Towards the crowd, right before getting ejected in Game 6 of the 2016 NBA Finals, a random thought always pops in my head. Whatever happened to that mouth guard? So I finally looked it up, and at first I thought I found the answer. There are multiple articles stating that a Steph Curry used mouth guard officially sold for $3,000 back in 2016. I automatically assumed that it had to be the one from the throwing incident in that year's finals, because again, every article said 2016, but apparently all those search results were about a completely different Steph Curry used mouthguard that just so happened to sell for $3,000 around the same time. This one, which has Curry's name and number as well as the Warriors logo on it, was picked up by a fan after Curry had left it on the bench earlier in that 2016 regular season, which is cool and all, but just imagine what the value of this one from the 2016 NBA Finals is, if that's how much a regular season one went for. You can clearly see this guy pointing to the mouth guard on the ground, and then proceeds to pick it up and put it on the scores table. But unfortunately, there's been no word on who wound up with it. Curry said that he never got it back. So apparently someone out there still has that.
One of them people working the scoreboard was like, sliding it in my pocket. I'll hold off on it for about 15 years, and then when he retired with 6 rings, I get my 100 bands.
Now, infamous Game 6 mouth
That's what I'm just saying.
We just don't know who. Now, if you think buying a used mouth guard is weird, wait until you hear this. Back when Luka Doncic was just a rookie, one fan took the get-rich-quick scheme to a whole new level. Believe it or not, what you're looking at was an actual eBay listing for a piece of Luka's game-used chewing gum. That's right, a piece of gum that was literally chewed by Luka. Here's the eBay seller's story. Quote, I saw him spit out the gum in the first quarter behind the goalpost, and I knew I had to retrieve it after the game. It also came with the program and ticket stub as well. The game he was referring to took place on
close
January
enough. Seat 300 and 101. That's like right, like that's. I don't know if this is the right side, but that's like right off in this area. That's like right off in that area. So I mean, if he could have made it, that's close enough.
7th, 2019 versus the Toronto Raptors. That was the game where he supposedly obtained the gum. So how much exactly was this seller asking for? Well, as you can see, the starting bid was set at $10,000. The listing was also posted on Reddit, and predictably, the reaction it got wasn't all that great.
I felt the same way, but man, you never know, man.
Lastly, we got an interesting backstory of a piece of gum that was chewed by LeBron James.
I am here to talk to you about something that I found very interesting while I was moving back to Akron, Ohio. And my mother had told me a number of years ago that she had bought something of LeBron James's. And as you can see here, it is a green piece of, I think, bubble gum that is signed by LeBron James. In 2005, that he actually
took
this gum and placed it underneath the podium before speaking, which was then signed and auctioned off later. My mom paid $500 for this signed autographed piece of gum. It was a nice little different thing to have because it had LeBron's DNA.
Hey guys, that's the end of this video, man. If y'all guys did enjoy this one, man, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, man. That's crazy though. The LeBron James one, I guess I can understand on, you know, them auctioning it and she just so happened to have it. But when you go to pick up somebody's shit off the ground, I can't do it. See, they was like, hey, look, LeBron, this is your gum, sign it, let's auction it off, let's make a little bread for charity. Boom. That's cool. But it was crazy, man. I'm surprised that nobody knows where that paper is at. I wish that would come back to light, and I wish it was the actual one. I don't care about all that fake shit. I want the real. I want to see, you know, the Will Wilt Chamberlain piece of paper. That right there would mean so much to me, just to see it. And, you know, but, man, that is what it is, man. But, man, if y'all guys did enjoy this one, man, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on so you never miss another solid reaction. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.